And you know, actually, I think you know what's the worst part. I think if you're skinny, right, and then you go through your whole life like this, right, and then you grow older, you're like, I'm so skinny, man, chill lah. Bro, I think it could be even worse.
When you kena screen, you're like, whoa. What is that? Is that a new lung or?
I do MRI on you, all I see is those heart-shaped nuggets in you.
Welcome back to Yamcha Sessions VFO Very Fast One. Today we're going to be talking about healthcare based on an article you sent to MJ.
Yes.
The article says Malaysians, 53% of screened Malaysians overweight or obese. It's based on this site called Code Blue. Health is a human right. I'll send it to Nick and Nick can pull it up as well. So Andrew, you want to start by asking questions, or was it MJ's going to ask questions?
Yeah, I think the underlying two questions we want to ask is why do you guys think the Malaysian population are obese / unhealthy in general? And the second layer being, what do you guys feel the remedies should be to address the initial problem? So perhaps we can start with John. Why do you think Malaysians are so unhealthy?
I think a lot of Malaysians are unhealthy because we didn't really exactly have the education to navigate health when we were very young. And because when we were young, we went through this whole phase of PJK is go play football, or girls wear PJK baju and just sit at the day one and do nothing.
True.
And then you don't really talk about nutrition, let alone practice it. So if you go to a canteen, you have fried nuggets, but then they tell you don't eat fried nuggets, but fried nuggets are only available.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard, right? It's very challenging to navigate your childhood when you are not practicing what you preach. Especially when the teachers also tell you PJK means go play football, right? But then when rain or something, then they're like, oh, there's no, let's go and do resistance training. Let's go and run. Let's go. I don't know. There's no backup, basically, right? It's only one way. So when you're framed that in the beginning, it only shows how important it is compared to your maths and science and etc. When you go on to college and university, lagi, I mean, there's no opportunity for you to even do that unless you are trying to find a girl. Please refer to previous pod, right? And then you want to look good because of vanity reasons.
There's no SPM for physical training.
Nothing.
Oh, true. Yeah, there's no standardized measure.
There's no even like, hey, do 10 push-ups, then only can pass. Otherwise, I tell you, confirm, at least everybody can do one or some shit like that, right? So I think it only shows, right? And the older you grow, it only gets worse. So when you go start working as well, not only that, you're trying to find cheap food now because your salary is not that high. So you even default back to having your fried nuggets again because it's at the, wherever warung or wherever mamak or whatever. And then when you only grow older, you're like, fuck, too late already. Diabetes, high blood pressure, whatever lah. And then you're obese lah. And I think you know what's the worst part. I think if you're skinny, right, and then you go through your whole life like this, right, and then you grow older, you're like, I'm so skinny, man, chill lah. Bro, I think it could be even worse.
When you kena screen, you're like, whoa. What is that? Is that a new lung or?
I do MRI on you, all I see is those heart-shaped nuggets in you.
Which is organ.
Because people only associate skinny equals good.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't mean good. It can mean hidden bad. Yeah. So that's what I think. I feel.
Right. So my understanding is a symptom of education from a dietary perspective as well as from an exercise perspective.
Yes. Same lah.
Okay. MJ, what do you think?
I think I actually wanted to say that where, there's no SPM for physical training, as I said. And I think a lot of the reason why there isn't something like that is because if you look at the past, that's quite 100 years, I think people respect the mind more than the body. They make that separation as if they are not connected.
People still do.
Right? That's why, and I think the practical manifestation of this is if exam period is coming up, they scrap PJK for...
Oh, so
Don't say PJK, bro. They scrap sleep, bro.
Sleep and then PJK.
Yeah, they don't sleep. I studied very late last night.
So what do you think? What does this subconsciously signal to the kid? It signals to them it's not important, right? It's better to have a big bank account or to have all these degrees than to be able to do 30 push-ups. When I believe, maybe not 50-50, but it should be close to each other. It's your heartbeats per minute is a signal. It's as important as how much you're earning. Right? But people don't do that. And training your heartbeat is mostly free.
It is.
Then people don't do that.
Fuck, bro. Doing push-up is free. Gravity is free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So I think that's one. The second one is I just mentioned three, there are many, but the second one is there's not an understanding of how weight loss or weight control exists.
Yep.
Many people, you ask them a question on what's the best way to be healthy, they will say things like, well,
Eat a
exercise
salad.
is very important. They'll think it's like a 50-50 ratio, when really it's an 80-20 ratio in favor of nutrition rather than training or
Yeah.
exercise. And then even if they knew that, you ask them on how to organize their nutrition, they will say, yeah, you need to eat this particular condiment, to say if you need to eat at this time of the day, then you will lose weight, or you need to do the keto diet, you need to do the paleo diet, you need to go vegan, you need to go.
It's a sales pitch, bro.
Right, it's
a sales
all
pitch,
different when they do not even understand the basic
Yep.
idea of just energy balance, right? The amount of calories that goes in and calories can go out. Now, of course, there's more to it, but people don't even know that.
The basics
and when
also.
you bring this out,
Yeah.
they see this as a rival to whatever they have. So they'll debate with you, are you sure calories in, calories out is wrong? Every calorie is different. When it's not a rival, right? Caloric, let's say if you want to lose weight or gain weight, right? It's either a deficit or surplus. This is an objective. This is not the strategy. You want to lose weight, you have to be in the deficit.
Yep.
How you do that, of course, is a separate question. So there's the second one. And then the third one, for Malaysia specifically, we have the culture of live to eat.
Actually, arguably, it's all the three, right? Like Chinese people love to eat, Indians love to eat, even
Yeah,
Malays love to eat.
Malaysia,
it's
Malaysia,
just-
so-
it's triple threat, bro. We all like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. One thing that all the major races,
There's so many
agree on is
holiday.
our food is better.
Yeah.
Right? I don't like lontong, right? But someone says lontong not nice from another country, especially Singapore. You argue with the fella. I probably never tried lontong my whole life. Lontong is better, than sweet chili crab or whatever they have. So I think that live to eat culture is not to say a problem, because I think we should be proud of our food, but it doesn't mean that you need to gouge or you need to stuff yourself with a lot of it.
Right.
There's more to it, but these are the three reasons.
Got it. Vic, what about you?
I think there's two ways to look at it. One is from the cultural perspective as well. I personally think that from a cultural perspective, I think Chinese people eat more whole food than the other two races.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, actually, that's true. That's
really?
true.
Okay.
Everything is pretty much from scratch. Excuse me. Indian food that is from India is a lot of whole food, like spices.
Yeah.
Every food got a lot of spices. I mean, every dish got a lot of spice. And the type of materials they use are things like lentils, blah, 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 and all these
Yeah.
kind of things. Malay food, however, I'm not sure how it was maybe say 50, 60 years ago, but right now,
It's
they
cheese.
consume a lot of processed food.
Yes.
Apart from cheese, what's an example of?
Not cheese per se, but like processed food like ssausages.
Oh, okay.
Everything that goes through a factory and comes out doesn't grow.
Oh, that's true. Actually, even like for example, if let's say it's satay, I think most of it is like frozen meat on a stick,
Correct.
and then yeah.
Satay is processed.
I think the ones that come in the box, yeah, not the ones that you find in the the hawker store where they
The
stab.
biggest satay supplier in Malaysia, or the best company, is I think Haji Samuri from
Haji
Kajang.
Samuri is fucking awesome, mate.
They also started processing their satays already.
Oh my god! But
Yeah.
is that why it tastes so good?
Probably.
Perhaps.
I mean, they go
Fuck, it's
through.
fantastic though.
But that's also
Highly
why
recommend.
it's a lot smaller now.
So when you say that Chinese people eat more whole food, what do you mean? Because
I think their food, it's not a matter of whether it's clean or not,
Yeah.
but there's more whole food. You see leaves. You can actually see leaves in
You
it.
see a whole chicken.
Yeah, correct. You can
see a whole
the meat,
chicken. Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that. But if you go to an Indian restaurant, say for example, and you want to take like chicken varbal, for
Oh,
example,
Love chicken varbal.
fucking sedap, right?
Awesome.
But then the amount of things they put in it spoils the whole food in it.
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Because it's also coated with so much
you're
sauce.
referring to like the santan, the oil.
That is correct.
Yeah.
is correct.
That accompanies the chicken, because if it
Yes.
was just chicken, But whereas I think in Chinese food, bro, I think even Hainanese chicken, right, is literally boiled chicken together with a green onion and like some ginger, and some salt.
And the type of materials that is being used in like Chinese dishes are generally a lot healthier. Like say for example, you use like lotus root,
Yeah.
you use like goji berries, or you use like quadriceps, blah blah blah.
That's
Those
true.
kind of things.
Garlic, ginger, all the
Yeah.
root vegetables as
Correct.
well. Yeah, even potatoes and all that, right? Yeah.
But I've had this conversation with a high-ranking official from MOH before lah.
Okay.
And he asked me this question: why do you think Malaysia's obesity rate is really high?
Food is fucking
Okay,
good.
I gave a very basic answer lah. Food damn good lah.
Yeah.
He said no. The truth is, there's two things that is extremely cheap in Malaysia: oil and sugar.
Ooh, Yahweh. Holy shit.
Then I was like, poof, I want to retreat from this conversation. Yeah, so I mean, from their macro perspective, it's these two the bigger killers lah.
Actually, I can absolutely attest to the sugar one. Context is I am a shareholder in the largest sugar refiner in Malaysia. I have and am continuing to financially benefit from this because the Malaysian government does not want to raise the price ceilings for sugar. So for context, for the past 13, 14 years since Robert Kwok sold MSM to the government, they have not raised the prices. And then now, because they fear a backlash, especially from the opposition, where their constituents probably consume more sugar, okay, than the constituents in the Madani government, okay, they are actually giving subsidies to MSM by the tune of 1 ringgit per kilo. It used to be 2 ringgit 70, 2 ringgit 80.
Are you fucking
Now it's close to
serious?
3 ringgit 380. That amounts to about 288 million ringgit additional based on, I cannot remember how many metric ton already.
So just to put it in layman terms, they're giving subsidies to already such a cheap thing.
Cheap product.
Yeah, and so the reason
Jesus.
is because if they don't do it, MSM will say we just have to produce less sugar because we are in the loss. Raw sugar prices are actually going up.
Oh my god.
And
Bro, nature trying to correct itself, but then they're like, nah.
and then recently Thailand had some yield issues, so sugar prices are actually raw sugarcane prices are going to go up. And Malaysia don't produce our own sugarcane, although we get most from Brazil and India lah. So that is a big factor.
That is just fucked up. Bro, that's fucked up. That's ridiculous.
So, but when you think about it, right, I think I shared this before, like in a kopi peng, right, sugar is a very small cost, but the Malaysian government really fears that, they see, because if it's left to the market, the price per kilo will be close to 5 to 550 ringgit per kilos. Now it's at 270, So imagine they really float it, let's say like a market price, then it doubles. Straight away, some utusan Melayu article will come out and say, under Madani government, sugar price doubles.
Right.
So they don't want that to happen, but they don't want MSM to die as well.
Yeah.
So they just subsidize. They spend, I can't remember the exact figure, but it's about 1 ringgit per kilo at 24,000 metric ton per month.
Bro, that's fucked up. That's so fucked
shit
up.
ton.
They order chamsi kosong, the guys still now actually 8 ringgit lah.
Yeah.
Hey, sugar price went up. I'm like, bro, it's kosong. Kai kamyong ka lah. Then repeat again.
There you go. There you
I'm
go.
gonna slap every fucking guy out there lah.
And actually, it's very hard. You buy a kilo of sugar as a household, it's not easy to finish. Right?
Yeah.
It's so difficult,
It's
bro.
a lot. It's a lot. But do you know the consumption of sugar happens when you purchase things? It's not your consumption at home, man.
Yeah.
So wait, what do you mean?
The amount of sugar that is being used in the stuff that we drink and eat outside of our home, is a lot more compared to what we consume at home.
Oh, because they want to flavor it to make it.
I wish I had the statistics for this, but I've read this somewhere before, but it's almost 2x.
What? Are you fucking
So can you
serious?
repeat 2x?
Of whatever you
the
eat.
sugar that you consume outside of your home, it's almost 2x of
Yes.
what you actually consume at home.
So like example, if I were to cook, I give an example. If I would eat roast chicken at home, by right I use 0 sugar because roast chicken is salt, pepper, a bit of olive oil. But I don't use olive oil, I use ghee or pork lard, right? And then after that, if you go outside, chances are they put sugar to make that caramelized skin.
Kai Fan,
Yes.
roasted chicken, got sugar.
No, it's a crime. It's a crime.
Yeah.
What was steamed chicken?
Not sure, bro. Not a cook, sorry.
Wow, if steamed chicken put sugar, fucked up.
I can tell you for a fact, the chicken rice outside in the chili sauce that they make has a boatload of sugar. in
Sugar,
it.
yes.
That has a absolute.
Ma chao hai.
But I'll say this, one silent, I wouldn't say a killer, but a silent problem, right, actually is brown sugar. Because, right, people have the perception
That's healthy.
that it's healthy, and a lot of bakeries use it. But actually what ends up happening is that because brown sugar tastes less sugary, people put more. I know this. My mom runs a bakery.
I think this one is a bit
all
like,
brown sugar.
It's a bit like brown rice also, right?
Yeah,
Theory of
I
brown
heard,
rice.
that. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very cheap to produce brown sugar because it's just the leftover molasses from
Oh, is it?
refining sugar. Yeah.
Which tastes great though. Actually, molasses. I don't know whether
Yeah,
you've ever had
it's
molasses.
just, yeah.
It's like
That's-
sticky.
Actually,
Like
there's
sticky
not much
caramel.
difference.
Essentially, it's the same strain lah. It's just the leftovers.
It's just
It
brown.
just tastes less sweet because it's like almost burnt type of thing lah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And then, but this applies a bit more to T20 people. They're like, healthy brown sugar.
Yeah, 100%.
But you sure whack more. I know. I see my mom shop.
What's your take on aspartame?
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Coke Zero.
I also am.
I understand from what I read, there's some gut issues with aspartame or even stevia. But I think it's great. So far, no issues. I'm a fan of Coke Zero, Pepsi Black. What's that? 100 plus zero. So is it?
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah, I am in agreement with that.
Do check lah. If you have gut issues, then don't.
I think the common understanding is it leads that there are studies that say that it leads to long-term Alzheimer's, dementia, something along those lines. Not sure how concrete that is lah.
So I actually know this because I watched the video on this because there was a guy and it's the same guy that I said I forgot what's his name again?
James something.
James something. He's a UK guy that lives in Australia.
He works with Chris Williamson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he does. So this guy, he actually pointed out what is the toxin or that chemical that actually is in Coke Zero that causes that so-called dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever lah, right? And apparently, red meat has it too. So technically, right, if you want to have red meat, right, you also and also fun fact, red meat has more % of that than fucking Coke Zero.
Okay.
So technically, if you have red meat, right, that's it lah. We all go.
The dosage, there's a famous saying, right, in the medical line, the dosage is the poison. Ma.
Yeah.
Technically, there are a lot of things with carcinogens. One.
Yeah,
Right, there's
question is how much.
carcinogen in meat. So when people hear carcinogen, also eating meat is like smoking.
In Bakwa also.
In Bakwa. But then when you calculate
mad
the
though.
dosage, it's very small.
Yeah. So I don't know. I need to pull up the video. I'll reference it in the description below. I'll remember this for sure.
Actually,
because-
if you research enough, every food will cause cancer. lah.
Yes, that one also lah.
Yeah.
But this one in particular, because at that time it was okay. So when all these non-sugar sodas were coming out, it was competition with sodas. So a lot of sodas had to create a narrative to shape that shouldn't drink that. Drinking real sugar is better. So because of this, then they like fuck. Actually, it's not true. That's why they developed, and that's why now, if you look at it, there's a lot of zero products. There's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's because there is a demand for it, and that's because people do their own research and then they realize it's okay because it's negligible. The percent is even 0 point something by
It's
the
from
way.
a plant, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's
So
plant extraction.
yeah.
What is like
Stevia.
Yeah. So I think if you were to decide to drink like all those the zero stuff, right? It's okay, but like what MJ said, I think everything is in moderation. But I feel it's a much better option. And I think MJ has taught me this a lot, I feel, because in the last couple of weeks, actually more than that, a couple of months already, right? If you make wiser decisions, you can lose weight but still enjoy the shit you like also. This is very easy one, you know. So for example, right, I had a real Coke the other day. Like, bro, I tell you, Rasa Asli is a mad dog, bro. You squeeze a little bit of lime in there, reminds you of your childhood, brother. Some cold ice, you know.
Whoever created it, I have to say, like, what was the Pembroke, right? The fella.
Yeah, but I think Coca-Cola was created as like a medicine thing in the beginning. It's
They
not,
actually put real Coke in the Coke.
yeah, cocaine in Coke last time. Then after that, I remember I enjoyed it. I'm like, actually, but this is what my dad used to say. It's okay once in a while. But we forget what is once in a while. It's once in a while, once every 3 days, once in a while every 1 month, once in a while once a year. What is once in a while is what...
relative.
Yeah, and I think that's a very toxic statement because if people you go out with and it's like a bonding thing, like let's say we all go eat, and they're like, "Hey, bro, drink lah, once in a while." Slippery slope, my guy. So just set boundaries, ma, right? So what are your own boundaries? What is your once in a while? Lah? That one is a very useful tool for me. Once in a while to me now is once a month. I have one Coke.
You need to be specific. Very important.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like we're touching on the how do you sort of
that's true.
remedy weight loss to go back to the context of 50% of our population being obese. Like,
We are the miracle of Asia.
So perhaps we start with Vic. Any recommendations on your end, especially given your expertise, on how to address this problem on a more scalable approach?
I mean, I don't.
It's sad because none of us here have 6 packs. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that should be the benchmark.
I have that reluctance to give my point of view on a personal basis, because the only shift that I've made for myself is that I've for this year, or rather large portion of last year onwards, I started cutting out on processed food entirely.
That's so difficult.
Entirely.
Does that include Haji Samuri?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, I don't
That's rough.
eat McD's anymore.
Yogurt?
No, not a yogurt person lah.
Oh,
So I don't eat processed food. Like I try to avoid as much as possible lah. Like I don't eat chicken chops, for example, because I know
that
most.
processed?
Yes. Because I know most chicken chops are processed. They come from factory, bro. They are frozen.
True, and what kind of fucking chicken part is that anyway?
Correct.
It's like it's all over the place.
Correct. And what chicken is square?
Exactly.
Shape with
Yeah.
like a little bone on the corner.
Yeah. Oh, they purposely put the bone there some more.
Oh
Make it
lah, they
authentic.
debone the fucking thing. They leave the end lah.
They
It's
do.
a style.
They do. It's a style of cutting the thing, lah. But you gotta
it's a
preserve
fillet.
it. You know, you gotta supply it to like a billion Uncle
places.
Thomas shops, right? So I started avoiding a lot of processed food, lah. But on a macro scale, I think that we need to rethink, or as a country, lah. I think we need to rethink about how we serve food to the people, all the way from school to restaurants.
Yeah.
Like say for example, right, the same noodle that I have here, like soupy noodle, Chinese soupy noodle, you eat in Taiwan or you eat in Singapore, right? It tastes clean. I don't know what's the word in Chinese.
Ching.
Is it?
Qing.
Is that what it is?
Qing.
Like when I went to Taiwan with my friends, right? They are Chinese speaking folks lah, and then they kept using that word. It's like it's
Very
very
qing.
clean. Like
Yeah,
when I eat,
very
right,
qing,
it's
yeah.
still tasty, but it's very clean. And I think I had a huge debate with John before. I said Singaporean food is a lot nicer than like Malaysian food.
Oh, that is controversial. Man. That's a
Nicer,
hot take right
not tastier. But I
Nicer,
say
not
I feel better eating that food. You get what I mean?
Yeah, now I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
As an average, yeah, I think that's true.
So like my direction for the country is I think we need to clamp down on all these folks who are serving food to make money. You get what I mean? From a business perspective, I think we need to have regulations for how people serve food. I think we are making leaps in the right direction. There has been a lot of regulations, like you need to start advertising how many calories the food that you're
Oh,
serving.
absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
Please do that
Yeah.
for
So
the love of
easy, bro.
fucking God.
But-
Please put the protein also.
Yeah. Like
my God.
break down the nutrient content lah. But we have a culture of like pasar malam,
Yeah.
and all these kind of things. So this one there's a lot of it's going against like our cultural activities lah.
Right.
So I'm not here to give like a concrete advice on how to go about, but I think we need to rethink from schooling food all the way till like how we consume as working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine it would be damn tricky to measure the nutrition contents and calories of a nasi kandar. Right, you go up to a boss, sotong.
Yeah, how the
ayam
kakak
goreng.
going to do maths while selling the,
Yeah.
curry puff in the
Mission
morning?
impossible. MJ, what about you? How would you remedy this?
Just to touch on that, right? That is absolutely what we need to do. The only challenge that I foresee is that the prices of food will go up. Because if the quality goes up, the prices of food go up. If you're at T20, you just comment on Facebook, complain lah. But at least the second half, lower half of the M40 and the B40 will feel the prices go up. So they will then they will say, yeah, I rather eat worse off food, but at least I feel full, rather than eat quality food, but that's it.
There is, I feel like there is a way to
But there is.
to find that middle path actually to meet both things. There is this rating system. I think you introduced me this drink, the protein drink, 300 calories, 30 grams of
Rokebees,
protein.
yes.
What's that called again?
Rokebees.
Rokebees. Could you just Google that real quick?
ROKEBY.
Yeah, so you can Google that while I explain lah, right? So this drink is, if I'm not mistaken, manufactured in Singapore, right? And it's a high protein drink because it provides 30 grams of protein for 300 calories, which is a ratio of what, 10? What's it called? Is it
Yeah,
10?
10.
Ratio of 10, right?
Oh yeah.
This is
see
the drink.
this,
So if you look at the Rokebees drink, at the bottom left corner of every drink, well, it's not in the front part, but the bottom left corner of the nutrition label, right? If you Google nutrition label for Rokebees, you will see. Just Google Rokebee nutrition. So for listeners, right? If you see this drink in My News or Jagross and all that, right? If you look at the bottom left corner of the nutrition label, right? Not this one. Maybe you can.
amount of protein.
Yeah, it's a very solid amount of protein, right? But if you look, okay, bro, look down there. You see down, scroll down. No, to scroll down a bit. There we go. Is it this side? This is not roast beef. Is it roast beef? Fuck, I can't really see. This is yogurt. Never mind, fuck it lah. I'll upload a photo later. I'll just show you. Anyway, Jen actually pointed this out. She's like, hey, this drink manufactured in Singapore, they got the grading system. And I never knew about this grading system. So there's an A, B, C, D grading system. And this grading system actually dictates whether it's a quality product or non-quality product. And I feel that if you implement this same categorization of whether it's an A product, B product, C product, or D product across all things, then people can know and understand that. For example, if I open a restaurant and I can say all ingredients are A grade, all ingredients at least B grade.
Yeah.
You know, or it's like C grade and it's cheap.
We have that very selective for eggs, got lah.
You see what I mean?
We have it for Madani rice.
Maybe it's the other side.
Yeah, rice as well.
Yeah.
Wait, let me just find that picture and I send it to Nick and then he can pull it up. But basically, I feel that you can navigate both ways because you can still provide that at least understanding. So if people see ABC, it's very easy, bro. Because calories is quite difficult. I think if you see like 1,000, wow, 1,000 very dangerous or I don't want to be fat or all that. But actually, you don't know what is in the 1,000 calories. So sometimes I think if you just said A, B, C, D, right, people can be like, oh, A good, B okay, C not so often I should eat this, D I should probably avoid. And restaurants can somewhat shape that. You know how they have the cleanliness rating?
Yes.
You can just say, majority of my food at least B.
Right.
Yeah. Then at least people know where their money is going. You know, at least you know that you're not fucking yourself up without knowing.
So that leads back to your question on what I think a list of solutions could be. And that is actually to not actually obsess so much about the quality of the food. So yes, it's important to know, but many people will say, you know, we need good quality food, we need the right nutrients, all that is true. Then they'll say avocado is healthy. But if you eat too much of avocados, you still get fat. It doesn't really matter. And that's why knowing the quantity is also equally important. Now this is probably the most difficult way to fix your health, which is to understand each food, what is the quality content and understand what are the macros or the macronutrients of the content. It's very, very difficult. But as John and as I've been guiding John, right, I would say it only takes 3 to 4 weeks of concerted effort to really learn the basic macros, to know chicken rice, what are you expecting protein and calorie wise, nasi lemak, kai siao fan, banana leaf rice. Once you know, then what happens is you add another thing in addition to quality, which is quantity. So if you can control your quantity, I will argue this, right? You can actually lose weight.
You don't even need to work out.
What quality does is that it makes the weight loss more bearable. So in a caloric deficit, which is the prerequisite for weight loss, if you are just what we call CICO, calories in, calories out, in theory, you could drink 10 shots of olive oil and you will lose weight. But you would be hungry all the time. You may not feel the best because you have no protein and no carbs, right? So that's where quality comes in. But the knowledge that calories in, calories out is important is not as well known as the quality of the ingredients. People roughly can tell this is good quality chicken or good quality food. People have that intuition, but people do not have caloric intuition, which is what I've been building. And I think John can attest to this, that you now have a caloric intuition. It's subject to improvement, but now you know already roughly how much you should eat a day. Yeah. And I think we were chatting this earlier in the week. Tun M has one of the most heuristics way of thinking about this. He obviously doesn't explain it, why he lives so long. He doesn't explain it in a way that is calories and all this science. He just say very simple, like if you eat to the point where you are too full, you don't leave space for hunger, your stomach expands, then you eat more. What is he really saying? What he's saying is, make sure you know how to count your calories.
Yeah. No, he summarizes it a lot better. He just said eat 3/4 full.
Yeah.
Just eat 3/4 full. It's very simple. But I think it's very difficult because culturally, I think when you're sitting at the dining table, we've always been taught as a kid to finish whatever's on your plate. And then if you go out with your friends, it's like, why not nice? That's shit lah, right? And then you just like, paiseh. Like even Yi Sang.
Yeah.
It's like Chinese New Year. So, oh shit, I forgot to mention the fucking date. It's 17th of February, right? So every time you low sang, right? Every time you low sang, and then you just take like one plate and they're like, hey bro, eat some more.
Yeah.
You have fucking 3 plates of yisang before the meal even starts.
Right.
Jesus
And there's
Christ.
barely any protein.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's the caloric one. And what I recommend most people is to learn how to count. It's the most difficult one because every time you have to take picture, you have to go back tabulate, then if you are nerdy enough, put in an Excel sheet, to create an average.
He created it for me.
But let's say if you don't really want to do that, okay, I would just leave people with 2 things that really helped me lose, I think, about 13 kilos.
13 really?
1-3, yeah.
You fucking mad.
Is number 1, if you have to, focus on protein, veggies, and fruit. If you focus on this, right, 1, the meat and the fiber that you get from veggies and fruits will keep you full without having to take on a lot of carbs. Now, of course, you should adjust this to activity level. If you're an athlete or if you exercise a lot, then you probably need to have, to introduce carbs into your diet. Then the second thing is, if you do want to have carbs, every time you go for a meal, double the protein, half the carbs. So let's say, case in point is you go and eat chicken rice. You order another portion of, let's say, chicken breast, and it can be thigh also. A lot of people say thigh is fattening. It's fattening in relation to breast, but it's not. It's still a good quality protein, and it's easier to eat as well, right? Then only eat half the rice. You do this over a period of time. You will not do it in the most scientific way possible, but you'll get there much easier.
I mean, there's a caveat to this. Don't go and like double kai, have fun, and then I already double kai, have fun, time to have McD for dinner and finish all my fries. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
it doesn't work that way.
Even if you can do McD, right? Like a lot of people don't realize
Triple chicken.
Are surprised when I show them how many times I eat fried chicken during my weight loss. Out of, I was 5.5 months, right? I look back at my photos, I would say I probably eat fried chicken 20 to 25 times.
That's fuck ton of fried chicken.
That's a lot. And then it's all triple. It's always triple.
Oh, triple ayam goreng spicy.
Yeah, but it's all breast. That's the best. But what people don't realize is that by me doing that, right, by eating high amounts of protein, I stay satiated. I stay full for a longer period. So I don't snack. I don't eat a lot more. So even if I go to McDonald's, right, sometimes I would remove the skin, or if I'm eating a sausage McMuffin, I don't eat the bread, I just eat that. Fries, I eat minimal. Some I dip sauce, most of the time I don't. So I believe in practical health solutions, and this is my
But it's so tough. It's so tough. I'm going through that right now, and I think it's always the additional external things. It's like
yes, correct.
It's very external, and I also feel like if you bring up certain things, then people judge you, and then they judge you. They make it difficult, because there's no positive reinforcement, right? And it's not an immediate positive reinforcement. So I think it's so difficult to overcome it. But you just gotta have a fucking steel fortitude mind,
You need a coach. Bro.
Yeah, actually you need
That's why I realized, like for myself, I had Bradley to report every day. In fact, after I know how to count, right? And then he said, okay, bro, you're good enough, you can do it yourself. I'm like, no, I still need to send it to you to keep me accountable. So I think having that accountability partner is very, very crucial.
Yeah.
So when you eat your triple ayam goreng McD, there's no chili sauce.
So it depends. Okay,
That's the thing you got out of it. Are you fucking serious?
No, that's actually a very good question. So that's why you need to be aware of the context of that day. Now, let's say you start with McDonald's, or usually I prefer Texas chicken because chicken is bigger. Let's say you start with the day with Texas chicken.
Okay.
I can add sauce because I'm starting the day at 0.
Yeah.
Typically, if it's 3 breasts, you are looking at about 900 calories.
Okay, pretty decent.
60 grams protein.
No. Sorry, 300.
No, 700.
990 grams of protein.
Is it?
Chicken breast, yes.
Or chicken breast, okay.
That's very good. That's like 2/3 of what you need really, typically. Okay. Then I can afford to add the chili sauce to bring it up to 1,000 calories. I'm sneaky a bit. I can have a bit of fries, so 1050 or 110. So if I set my day like that, then I know that is the amount of budget I use. Then for the next meal, I can plan out a bit easy. Now let's say if it's reversed, let's say I've already had a meal before that, and then now I'm going to Texas chicken. Then I can tell myself, look, maybe I should eat the sauce, and maybe I'll take some skin out.
Yeah.
Okay.
You make a wiser choice.
Correct. I adjust. But it doesn't mean that if I eaten a meal in the morning, doesn't mean that I don't put any chili sauce at night. Again, it depends on that meal.
Yeah.
If that meal was wonton mee double chicken, which is probably about
Wonton mee double chicken.
700 to 800 calories, give or take. Then maybe if I want to be under 2,000, then maybe I don't take the sauce. But let's say if I eat kai si hor fun instead, that 700-800 now drops to 500 to 600.
Right.
So now I freed up 200 to 300 calories
For my chili sauce.
for my chili sauce. So the context matters. But you can only know this if A, you got the knowledge, and B, you practice the knowledge long enough.
Yeah, which I think after a while becomes quite second nature.
That's the practical. So I believe in practicality, and that's why I do not believe in one specific diet or intermittent fasting.
Last night when I went out to meet Vic and Lashwin at the park, I drank my protein shake. Then I brought in the 2 mackerel, the family mart. Then I was like, gotta fulfill my protein. Then they look at me and they're like, what the fuck?
So really, it's contextual. You have to know what your budget is for that day.
You kind of need to.
So for anyone watching now, you know, if you had kai si hor fun in the morning, feel free to add chili sauce at night.
Yeah.
If you had wonton mee double chicken in the morning,
Probably not.
forget about your fucking
But
chili
depends.
sauce.
But see, depends. How tall are you? How much you work out? How much muscle mass
Is
you
your
have?
budget 2,000 or is it 3,000?
Yes. In fact, if you're a big guy, you may need to add on more food.
Oh shit.
Those 2 are not enough.
Double up the triple ayam goreng McD. Sign
Add
me
sauce,
up fast.
get some coleslaw, get some mashed potato.
Okay,
Not wrong. Depends. What's the context? I need to know. And then if you're a girl, maybe you shouldn't be taking 3, maybe 2, or 1.
Because life works that way.
Yeah.
Quite challenging. Quite challenging. But I think it's learnable.
It's all practice. Then before you know it, like you said, second nature.
But also, right, to go back to this, to go back to the labeling and to go back to the quality of food and to go back to the quantity of food, right? I think naturally speaking, if you have a lot of whole foods, like what Vic had mentioned, right?
Yep.
Whole foods itself will keep you full one.
Yes,
Generally speaking,
correct.
like if you eat like if you buy chicken from a supermarket and you go buy fried chicken, example, right? I got a feeling if you eat both also chicken breasts, I guarantee you'll be more full eating the fucking chicken you bought from the supermarket. I also have this theory that like the chicken that they provide to restaurants are just not the same.
Maybe.
I just cannot.
Can you tell the difference between ayam kampung and chicken that comes out of a factory?
Bro,
skin, I think the skin is
kampung. The kampung is like rubber,
Skin is
bro.
different. The texture of the meat is different.
Yeah, rubber, bro. The kampung one. The fucker is just so difficult to eat.
I feel the texture, I think in terms of the skin, is a lot thinner.
Yeah.
A lot lighter.
Yeah. Even
Yeah.
the pre-cooked chicken, the skin is a lot thinner.
Fucker look like it's solid.
Solid.
If I look at it, so I know the difference.
It looks like a horse lah.
Yeah, it looks like a mini horse. Yeah, but it's like jacked, like lean.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring this lah, okay? We talk about quality, we talk about quantity, but I think a very important pillar so to lubricate the process is really fun. You cannot leave that out, right? That's why don't keep out your chili sauce. Have that
Yeah, you gotta.
a bit oily, your wonton, you want to dip in,
Yeah.
chili oil.
Whatever lah.
You
Just
need,
balance it out.
You need to balance the fun element. And what happens is that people usually only go for one. They'll be like, no, just calories in, calories out. They forget the rest, not sustainable. Then you got one crowd super educated. They know keto, they know all different trisaccharides, disaccharides, carbohydrates, all that. Not sustainable because they don't know the other. And of course, the fun crowd, we know lah, right? They're not gonna get. You need to get all 3, right?
Context is also right. Bradley right has done this nasi lemak diet for 60 days or some shit like that, right? 90 days.
And you lost weight lah. Yeah.
Bro, he ate nasi lemak every day. Once a day, must eat one nasi lemak.
That's life.
Yeah, he eats one nasi lemak a day and retain his 6-pack for fucking 2 to 3 months, bro.
No, he
looks like
gained
a
his
god.
6-pack. He had a 2 or 4-pack when he started.
So
How can he gain a six-pack?
he's supposed to like he documented this entire thing on YouTube to show that it's just about how you manage it throughout the day. So it's possible, bro. You can literally have your nasi lemak every day. You can have your cake and eat it, but just what else do you eat during the day? He's taken photos of it. He's posted on Instagram and all
He
that.
has proof, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember I went for a talk. He gave a talk and he said that he left a bowl of almonds and he asked me, oh, how many almonds did you eat after the talk? And I had about like 12, 15, I don't know. I didn't really
Fuck
count.
calories, right?
Yeah, then he's just like, bro, did you know you just ate like a fucking Big Mac? And I'm like, fuck lah.
It's definitely not 12 or 15 lah, just to let you know.
Oh, was it?
It's a lot more.
No. If he's comparing it to a Big Mac, it's not 12 to 15.
Oh, probably I gave a higher number lah. Then I'm just like, It doesn't make any sense. He's like, yeah, life's unfair. But I didn't really put it into practice, you see, because I was in that camp where MJ is saying, right, where you are extreme. It's like, no, I must have boiled chicken, I must have broccoli, I must have, no carbs, I must have no sugar. And then I tell you, right, after 1 week, you
Just fuck.com.
So that crowd focuses on quality and quantity, but there's no fun.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's like Ikigai, bro.
But most people don't think it's possible. And that's one thing that I have to convince a lot of people as well, even for yourself, right? I tell you, yeah, you can anything you want, right? And people don't believe, people think that weight loss must equal to tremendous suffering.
Yeah.
That is not true unless you're competitive. If you're competitive, yes, but if you're not, right? Not
Yeah,
necessarily
bro.
true.
Subway, stuffed D, shit like that. Fried chicken, McD, all doable.
Banana leaf fries, so you can lose weight on banana leaf fries. Absolutely.
That day I sent him a picture of banana leaf fries. Straight, give me 1,000
So if
calories.
you apply the
Like, what fuck?
principle, right? Double tenggiri and half the rice.
Yeah.
Then the fried veggies probably not. That's it. Okay, enjoy.
Damn, those fried cauliflowers though.
In the what do you call that? The bitter
cabbage?
gourd.
Bitter gourd.
Bitter gourd.
Oh, fuck, man, I tell you. But the moment you leave that out, it's actually okay. Man.
Then kwa, just 1, maybe 2 scoops.
Yeah. So that's, I suppose, the way and how to tackle it, right?
Being practical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. Very conclusive. You are now going to get a life partner if you watch the previous pod. You're now going to have a fucking six-pack eating nasi lemak if you watch this pod. You'll be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to comment, like,
Then you won't
subscribe.
be. Oh yeah, the single one as well. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. And since you're jacked with a girlfriend, you can donate via our Patreon. Ciao.